We collected $860 last week, and we got big moves coming for next week. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Isaiah, and in this video, we're going to talk about our plans with dividends for next week. But if you're new to the channel, this is an income generating account where we try to generate at least $600 every single week. We do this through selling cash secured puts, which means you're agreeing to buy a stock for a predetermined price. We do it through selling covered calls, which means you're agreeing to sell a stock for a predetermined price. We do it through credit spreads. And finally, what we're going to talk about today, we do it through high yield dividends from ULTY, TSYY, and now YBIT. So with that being said, let's jump right into our dividend talk. But before we do that, I want to give a quick shout out to the beautiful Premium Generals. It's an exclusive group. It's $10. And in here, I post private content such as educational videos on how to sell cash secured puts, how to sell covered calls, how to do credit spreads, how to do debit spreads, as well as private portfolio updates, the trades I am making when I make them, as well as anytime I'm going to make a move in the portfolio or I do make a move, I run it through with the Premium Generals, making sure they're up to date on what I have planned. And on top of that, the best part, you get to be in every single video here. So if you want to see your face in the video, check out the Premium Generals group. You might learn something as well. We'd love to have you. But if you're someone that wants a little bit more in-depth one-on-one education, I do have an option selling course, and I have that on Fiverr. I'll put the link in the description below. But just being here, subscribing to the channel, and leaving a like goes a long way. So, help me out. Let's get to 5,000 subscribers. With that being said, let's get back into that video. Okay, so in the trade history, real quick, I want to talk about my option selling before I actually get into the meat of the video, which is dividends today. I'll talk more about options tomorrow, but I always like to touch base on options because I do believe option selling is the best way to generate income. Now, always remember, that's my personal opinion, should never be taken as financial advice. But when I look at selling cash secured puts, so let's look at MSTU. I agreed to buy MSTU for $3 a share. Because I agreed to do so, I got paid $90. And if on 11/21 it's above $3, I don't have to buy the stock and I got paid to do nothing. If it's below $3, I can roll the position out another month and get paid another credit. You see these rolls below it, snap, $102, rolled that position. That's another credit on top of the one I originally collected. And then finally, on top of that, I could also let it get assigned, and then I could buy the shares for the price I agreed to. So either way, you're getting paid to agree to buy something you want to get paid, or something you want to buy, which is fantastic. And then I'll show the dividends we collected last week. So we got our first YBIT dividend payment in just 1 week of investing into it. We now have 125 shares. Now, so that dividend payment for next week's going to probably be like 10 or 12 bucks, which is pretty awesome, just in a span of 2 weeks of investing into it. ULTY paid us $451 last week. That's amazing. And TSYY gave us 102 bucks last week, but look, on Tuesday we're going to get 103. So we're already starting next week 103 bucks up. That's amazing. But anyway, plans for YBIT. So as I've said, ULTY, the goal was to get 5,000 shares. I'll admit I did buy a few more when it was in that $4.90 range. I just couldn't resist. I like ULTY. I still believe in it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not super excited about the share price dropping as rapidly as it's been. But again, I know this is an income generator, and any of the buy right funds in history go down. They go down because they're paying out substantial amounts of income. So I'm maximizing that income. I have 5,057 shares. Cost average is $581. I just received last week $450, and all of it went into YBIT. Before that, it was all going into TSYY, and that's how I have 500 shares of TSYY, and I'm about to get my second over $100 payment that's going to be used from TSYY into YBIT. So that's why after just 1 week of owning YBIT, just started buying into it last week, I already have 125 shares. My goal is 500 shares, and we're already a quarter of the way there. That's fantastic. So next week, we are going to find out what we get paid on Tuesday. Tuesday, YieldMax will announce their dividend payout, and I will buy my YBIT shares that day using TSYY's $103, and whatever ULTY pays out, I'll make my prediction on Monday. And guys, I'm like 1 for 5. I got one right. Now, last week I was close. I said 0.902, or sorry, I said, 0.902 or whatever, and it was like 0.903. So I was less than 1/10 of a cent off. I kind of take that as a partial win, but I get it. I was not correct. So I like making that prediction on Monday. But anyway, all those distribution payouts will go into YBIT, and any of the option premiums we collect, most of that will get invested into YBIT. And that's what I love about income growing income. I'm using all my income generators to grow YBIT. And before you know it, we're going to be at 500 shares. My original prediction was about 9 weeks. Now my prediction has gone down to about 7 weeks, maybe even 6 weeks. I think we'll have our 500 shares. I mean, we're a quarter way there, and we're only 1 week in. And every week, YBIT is going to have a higher distribution because I'll have more shares. So that's something to look forward to as well. Last week, I got, $6, which was not enough to buy a full share. But this next week, unless YBIT has a huge run-up, I will be paid out enough to buy another share. So essentially, I am using income to continue to grow other income, and I believe that's honestly the best way to maximize these high-income distribution plays. Rather than reinvesting all of it back into that fund itself, use it to buy other funds, get a little bit more diversification, and then you are able to generate quite a bit of dividend cash flow. I mean, last week in dividends, we collected $560 or so. I mean, that's $2,000 in a 4-week month. That's pretty awesome, guys. So get that up to, $1,000 a week in dividends and $1,000 a week in option selling, and you're living a pretty awesome life. So we're going to get that account to this point. We're still a ways away. I could get there much faster. I have a ton of buying power on the sideline, but I like to use generated income to grow other income. I'm not a fan of the margining as much as people tend to do on YouTube. Obviously, to each their own. Everyone has a different strategy, but I'm just not a fan of using as much of that margin into growing your own positions. I feel like, yes, if you understand investing and you want to take that risk, it's good for it, but I would rather use my own generated income to grow other income. That's just my personal opinion. In other accounts, do I use margin a little bit? Yes. But again, I'm not a proponent for it. It's just I would rather use my own income to generate my own income. That's my own personal opinion, guys. But I appreciate every one of you that watch my videos. It means a lot to me as we're on our way to our 5,000 subscriber journey. And this account will be at 70,000 before you know it. So we'll just keep growing little bits at a time. And with that being said, let's go Ohio State Buckeyes, and let's enjoy some college.